All right, so final topic for the day. So yeah, this is one that Zach pitched out here. Our favorite, or I also included your least favorite video game genres and why. Just kind of do a little bit of a deep dive on it. There are a ton of, main genres as well as like subcategories and stuff. I mean, it's like more. It feels like more genres continue to get created as well as history kind of goes on. So just kind of diving in, it's like why you more lean to certain genres than others. Like, what do you more kind of play on like a normal basis and stuff like that. I know I'll let John start because I know John just really wants to dive into the fact of how much he loves survival horror games. Those are by far his favorite.
No, you know where I'm actually
I
going.
thought you were gonna throw him into his idle games.
No, I know his survival
I didn't
horror.
think of
That's all he
that.
plays.
I didn't even think of that.
I got you, John.
He does love his idle games.
Okay, we'll come back to that.
I got you, John.
No, I will say probably my favorite genre, or at least the games I probably have the best time playing, co-op CRPGs.
Okay.
Because typically CRPGs are fun anyway. If you like the gameplay style, there's something about playing them co-op though, where even if you're playing it with somebody you know pretty well, in those type of games, it's like your friends are gonna make some batshit crazy ideas, or like they're gonna make some batshit crazy turns that they'll say it and you'll be like, okay, I think I know what you're saying. Then they'll do it and you're like, well, I just fucked up my entire thought process.
And the best part about that is a thing of when you hear it and you go like, okay, it's like, that's dumb. And then it either succeeds amazingly or fails as badly as you were expecting it to.
But yeah, and just like references of some like games like this would be like Divinity Original Sin and Original Sin 2, like Baldur's Gate.
Would you put Solasta in there?
So yeah, Solasta fits into that category. Like Wasteland 3 to an extent. It's more of a tactical, but it kind of fits in the genre anyway.
Yeah.
Combat's different because it's much more tactical game, but still the way the game was made fits that style.
Yes.
But yeah, games like that you can play co-op lead to some of the most fun because those games are typically they usually have, if not excellent, really good stories to follow, and a lot of it is just explore, find the parts of the story that you want to participate in, or find something to do. And it could be something where it's like, if you're playing it co-op, somebody may find a storyline that they attach to, and you're like, okay, I guess we're gonna go follow this through. Whereas if you're playing it solo, if you didn't find it interesting, you're not gonna do it. But sometimes it leads to either some really cool fights or some really cool story moments. You may get some cool stuff out of it, but it's like, I like playing those games. I'll play them solo, but the co-op experience is like far and away better.
Yeah.
Just because it leads to much better moments.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's probably that's like the peak of enjoyment is playing those type of games for me.
Yeah, those are the ones that you tend to gravitate to quite a bit.
Yeah, it's one of those where it's like, if a game like that comes out and has co-op to it, it's like, I'm like, well, I'm gonna see if I can find someone to play this with. I'm gonna play it, but if I can find someone to play it with, it's gonna be way more fun.
Right. I was thinking about this, and I thought about one genre that I will always play, but like after thinking about it throughout the day today, I kind of started to realize, like, I will always play this genre if the game like looks fun, whatever. But the more I think about it, the more I was like, it's definitely not one of my favorites, even though I will always go to play one. And that's honestly open world games. I think I said like a week or two ago, I'm kind of open worlded out. And it's just like I started thinking about all the open world games throughout my life that I've really like latched onto, and it's just like they're really not that many. Now I think about it, it's like Red Dead 2, sure, Skyrim, but not as much as like what John would put in or some of my other friends. Like I didn't put in thousands of hours of Skyrim. I probably put in maybe 100, which is still a lot, don't get me wrong. But like, I've only done like 100 to 200 versus like a hardcore Skyrim fan's done 500 plus. Oblivion, the Horizon games are fun, but my track record of Horizon's been documented on this show where it took me 4 years, whatever, to beat Horizon Zero Dawn, and I was literally on the last mission just because I just dropped it and put it back and just never came back to it. Same thing with like Forbidden West. Ghost of Tsushima was fun, but I definitely did not explore the entire world. I just explored where I was kind of going. I don't know. I will always play open world games, but I don't know what it is about them, but they're just not one of my favorites. I don't know if it's because I'm too small brain and I'm just like, hey, I just want to enjoy the story, play the game and stuff. I don't know if I just don't want to have that much of a time sink. I don't know what it is, but it's a genre I will always play, but maybe I just don't get fully attached to. I don't know.
I can agree with that because open world games, the older I've gotten, the less I've invested in the open world.
Agreed.
I much more prefer, like these days, I prefer a game that has big open zones that you transition to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I'll take that over a giant open world just about any day of the week.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like it's got to be a truly special game for me to really latch on to an open world game at this point.
And I again, it could just be with an age thing. In my case, it could just be a thing of like I'm so limited on how much I can play games where it's like, do I want to sit here and just aimlessly run around or go experience the story, because that's more of what I do these days. I don't play a lot of multiplayer games anymore like I used to. I want to enjoy a story. I want to enjoy the narrative. So it's like I guess it's kind of the same with me where it's just like an age thing. I don't know. Like when I play open world games, I just more so enjoy it for the story. There are very few that I've really kind of latched onto the world. Red Dead Redemption 2 being a good example. Where there's a lot of aspects of that world that I've really just gone through and explored because it's a beautiful game or whatever. But even like a beautiful game like Horizon Forbidden West, gorgeous game, gorgeous. Like the graphics, the world, unbelievably beautiful, stunning, dude. That map. So when I open up my damn map and I see the millions of things all around the map to go check out that I haven't done, I'm just like, fuck that. I'm not doing the half of that. Not happening.
There is one example of like an open world game that is a fairly condensed map that doesn't feel too overwhelming. Mm-hmm. It's Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk
True.
is the example that I go to.
That's
when
a good size for me.
When I'm like, it's a decent sized map. There's plenty of stuff to do, but even going through and trying to like do everything on the map, it's probably not going to take you more than 50 hours.
Yep.
And that's if you go at a relatively slow pace with it.
Yep.
Because that's how I was playing it last time, and I was like 20 something hours in, and I had completed like I don't remember how much at this point, but I had been going around doing everything on the map.
Yep.
And I was having a great time doing it because it was one of those things where you open up the map and zoom out, and it doesn't just reveal that you're in a tiny location on a giant like continent. It's like no, I'm in a city. It's like I'm in a city, and that's all it is. It's
Right.
like that's okay.
Yeah. So a couple more good sizes for me also would be like, while I've been on record numerous times about I didn't think this was the best one in the franchise, but like a Breath of the Wild or like a Tears of the Kingdom, like I love Tears so much more than Breath, but like those are great examples of like that size is kind of like probably my peak, where it's just like, all right, it's a pretty, especially in Tears' case, where I have the sky, the underground, and the base world. Like that's probably my peak of where it's like, because there's still plenty of stuff in that world that I have not done. The game has been dropped for quite a while. I did quite a bit. I completed almost all the shrines, but there's still a lot of stuff I haven't done. But that I will not be picking it up anytime soon. Like I did what I wanted to do. Another good size, it would also be like the Spider-Man games. Enjoy both of those. Those are a little bit more restricted on what all you can do for obvious reasons from a narrative sake.
Oh, yeah, it's also the thing of like
it's not a bad size though.
Yeah, it's like a city map.
Yeah,
like an open city map is a good size for a game like Spider-Man, a game like Cyberpunk, where you're not traveling too far.
Yep. Which honestly gets me kind of even more excited, like for the Pokemon Legends ZA, that it's just going to be a big city map, like an expanded city map. Like that's like I'm cool with that. That sounds fun. Like I'm here for that. But yeah, and it's just open world, like it's fun, but I just it's definitely, I feel like not. It's more on the least favorite side. Like I'm not gonna say least favorite because I still play it, but it's like I just can't get invested in it like I can some other stuff. I don't know. What about you?
I'm curious what you're gonna say.
Because like obviously we know you love fighters and stuff, but like what would be your pitch here?
Tactic RPGs.
That's very fair.
Attaboy.
Yeah, that's very fair.
Because I mean, my big thing with I enjoy RPGs immensely, especially JRPGs with my collection of them I have. But the ones that I really attach to the most are the ones that are usually tactic grid based RPGs, and especially if honestly for tactic RPGs for me, the larger cast the better because
That's fair.
I very much enjoy team building and maxing in terms of finding best counters and things like that. And just overall, I get to a point with most of them where I just can literally brain dead it because I just go, all right, you're good, go. All right, let's murder.
Yeah,
I might have a game for you. I'll have to look it up to figure out what it is, but I'll get with you after the show.
and to give him and to back him up on like what he means by just doing team building, like I like one example I want to give involving him where he just loves to experiment and just do stuff is the shit that you told me about Fire Emblem Three Houses and what you've done to some of those characters, where it's just like that's nowhere near close what they're even supposed to be.
Oh yeah, no, those some of those builds I did were atrocious, but I mean I ran with it and I found
Like,
some
didn't you
work
make
with-
Leone like a mage?
Yeah.
Like something stupid?
Yeah.
Like all the characters in those games, like they have like, you know, their canon route they're supposed to go and they can be like 2 or 3 other things. But Zach doesn't even go in those. He just goes opposite. He's like, let's make Leone a fucking mage.
I can't remember his name, but Edelgard's assistant guy, Hubert, yeah, I made him a sword master.
Like, and he's the Black Eagle guy, so like, he hears that, he's just like, what the hell?
Yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah,
man.
like, I don't know, man.
Each their own. I mean,
Yeah, it's like
mean,
living life, man.
there's something to be said for being able to play the games like that and be like, I'm just gonna make my own way.
I mean,
Yeah,
like
just do my own
Raphael, I mean, I did him as a fighter and a tank 2 different ways, but then I finally just went, fuck it, let's make him a white mage.
No, you know, some of my favorites that I've seen online of people going real off the rails with that is when they make like Raphael or like Dimitri or Claude, the dancer class. And
Yes!
they win the ball. That's awesome. That's hilarious, dude. I love that. That's talented. I will agree with you just on like from an RPG standpoint, but I really don't care what it is. Like it could be tactic, it could be a JRPG, whatever. Like, you know, action RPG, I don't really care. Just RPGs is definitely like you look at the games that I enjoy the most. Those are the you know, that's the genre that I gravitate to quite a bit. You know, Mass Effect, my extreme Persona kick that started last year, at the beginning of last year. And it's you know, Fire Emblem Three Houses, Fire Emblem Engage. I've gone back. I've been playing some Fates, some Conquest. Working on Fates Conquest right now.
Know what's really bad for me right now is because, which I need to bash you for playing Persona 4 Golden on Switch, but
Oh wow!
I have been doing a Shimigami 5 run, in which it's bad for me just because I have been playing Atlas games so much, where my immediately thing is just like, yes, I can build a team and whatnot to be able to get through the game, but my backtrack thing is like, I got to complete the compendium.
Yeah,
I cannot play without completing the compendium. And like Persona, it's a little bit harder because once you get past a certain point, you actually have to backtrack to be able to get all the fusions and whatnot, in which that can be tedious, but can be done. Versus Shimigami Tensei 5, they have a fusion where it's called reverse compendium fusion, and it will show you all the fusions you have available through everything you have in your compendium. So I'm just immediately, well, this is going to be a thing. So I'll spend at times in between intervals of areas, I'll spend a good 20, 30 minutes just backtracking, getting all my summons I don't need anymore, but I just complete the compendium.
Yeah, just to complete it. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But no, I mean, RPGs is going to probably definitely be my number one. You know, I definitely like a game like what John was saying, where it's like a zone kind of thing is the, you know, the world. Like there are those few cases, like, you know, Red Dead 2 is my second favorite game ever, full open world on that one. But, you know, just like a zone based kind of thing, I definitely more kind of gravitate to. Just more contained, allows me to just enjoy the narrative. I don't know if that makes me a bitch. I don't know, but I want to enjoy the narrative, enjoy some great gameplay, whatever, you know, the great characters, whatever the case is. So RPGs are you know, it doesn't really matter. Like I enjoy multiple types. It doesn't matter to me. You know, as long as it's an RPG, I can have a good time with it. And they got John in his idle games.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think of this. I'm gonna throw 2 in here just because. That was it. It kind of goes with what you guys said. One thing I or game genre that I enjoy, but I pick and choose what I play from it is just JRPGs.
Yeah.
JRPGs, I pick and choose the ones I want to play. And then there's series that I want to play, but I haven't talked myself into diving into yet because there's like 9 or 10 games or something like that out.
The trail games?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I want to get into those, but those games to get the story, you got to play them in order,
Yep.
and those games are, if you want to get the full out of them, are 120 hours a piece.
Yeah, each one's pretty long.
So it's like, I mean, I'm staring down the barrel of 1,000 hours to get the story out of a game.
Yep.
But like that's a series I want to get into. But like JRPGs in general, I pick and choose my franchises that I enjoy playing, the ones that I look at and I'm like, okay, yeah, I think I'm gonna give that one a go. So just a nice little nod there. But probably my guilty pleasure of what I will always enjoy, no matter the circumstances. It's idle games, man.
Yeah.
Idle games are king. It's like I have several on my phone. I've mentioned on the podcast before that I played a mobile idle game that was a pay to win game that I played free to play for over 2 years as a daily active user to complete all my daily content so that I could be in, because they eventually released a PvP section, and I still made my way into the highest rank on the game. But it's like I love idle games. Because in the beginning of the idle games, there's always the active play portion of it where if you want to actually get through it, to get far enough to be able to reset or like actually progress through zones, you kind of need to actively play it and kind of do what you need to do. There's something about going from that to just kind of being able to open it up, collect everything, set it back down, and come back to it a few hours later. That's super satisfying. And the thing is, most idle games I drop after a while, and it's like I'll drop it after a while. I'm like, okay, time to go find a new one, and then I go I relive the entire process again. And it's one of those where it's like, I mean, hell, an idle game I've been playing for the last year and a half. Probably going to drop it soon because I'm at the point where
he has conquered his demons.
To progress further in the game to a point where like I can complete the next level of challenges as a free-to-play player is going to take me another 2 years. And that's if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
So I'm like, at this point, it's about time for me to go find a new idle game, and I'm gonna love it. The problem is there's a lot of the games are very much copy and paste.
Yeah. Where
you'll download one and it's the exact same thing of another one. But yeah, idle games, I love them. I absolutely love them. I've been playing. I've almost had like at least one to four idle games that I've been actively playing for like the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's my comfort. If I'm sitting
Comfort
around and
food.
if I pull my phone out and I'm like, okay, I don't want to watch a video, I don't want to do anything like that, I'll pull out my idle game and I'll just kind of fiddle with it for a little bit, or I'll go download another one. I'll get into a phase where I'll download 4 or 5 at a time, and I'll play one to a point, and I'm like, okay, let's go try the other one. Let's try the other one. Okay, I like this one the best. That's what I'm going to focus on for now. But yeah, something about it, man.
Yeah.
I find it to be super satisfying.
I definitely can get that. So I have 3 other genres that I'm going to quickly shout out because they're all genres that I love, but I just don't play them very much, especially at this point for whatever reason. And one of them is a super satisfying one for me. I fucking love tower defense games. Love them, but I do not play them very often at all. But that's like a very satisfying game for me. Like I love just turning on a tower defense.
It used to be too many mobile tower defense games that burned me by starting off really good and getting shit.
Yeah, they that definitely happens quite a bit. Also, I personally love MOBAs. I don't play them almost at all anymore, but I do enjoy them. I do, I enjoy. I guess it's more of like just enjoying the memories of playing a few different MOBAs. Like like I know League's toxic as fuck, but I've got fun memories of League. Had a lot of fun with HOTS. Smite's fun. I just don't play them very much. And then another one I don't play very much that I enjoy is Metroidvanias. I do enjoy Metroidvanias. I just don't play them very much. Like some of the older Metroids, a lot of fun. Metroid Dread, absolute blast. Never been a big Castlevania guy. I have played a Castlevania, just I'm not a fan of the series itself. That Prince of Persia Lost Crown, still want to pick that up. I really enjoyed the demo, but that's just genres that I just don't play very often for whatever reason, but I do enjoy them quite a bit. I want to play a tower defense game now. I love me a good tower defense. Element TD has always been my favorite. Element TD is a lot of fun. I enjoy that one. So, you got anything else you want to shout out?
I mean, deck building for me.
I was about to say,
yeah.
but I was going to shout one more out, and it was for me. It's deck building roguelites.
See, I just like the deck building aspect. It doesn't necessarily have to be a roguelite, just because I enjoy just deck building.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah.
I literally have a game which is called Card Shop. I can't remember the title, where I literally just run a card shop and can card collect and deck build in it while selling cards.
Nice.
Because I think over time the deck building aspect, because I love deck builders too.
Yeah.
The reason I specify as like deck building roguelite is I love the aspect of deck building, but I like the simplicity of finding different combinations that work in a roguelite setting.
See, I like roguelite deck builders as well, mostly because it is sort of that draft mode style thing of where it's just you build based on whatever gets thrown your way.
And I think that's my preference and why I specify it.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in deck building games, when I do actively play them, I do play to a point where I can just do draft modes and just free build and just work with whatever's given.
Yeah. Because, excuse me, it's one of those where, like Across the Obelisk was one where it had been a while since I'd played one, bought that game and started playing it, and that kind of reinvigorated my enjoyment of them. And now I've probably got 6 or 7 on my wish list.
Shout out. Yeah, you do enjoy a lot of deck building. So,
You got into Snap really hard for a while, so.
God, I have not got back on Snap in a hot minute.
But if I'm going to throw a least favorite out there, puzzles.
That's fair. Rhythm for me.
I'm gonna need a little more information.
So I don't mind puzzles as an aspect in games, but for me, playing a game that's specifically built around just solving puzzles is not very entertaining for me.
Okay, I can see that point.
Yeah.
Puzzle games for me, it has to be a specific type of a puzzle game. Like I won't be able to just jump into any puzzle game and have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, my one puzzle game, even though, because it's a borderline puzzle game that I'm okay with and I'll enjoy immensely, is Phoenix Wright games and Apollo Justice.
I'm trying to think of least favorite game for me.
Definitely Rhythm for me.
Because you have none?
Correct. I have no rhythm. Just like I have no skill whenever it comes to fighting games. That's why it's towards the bottom for me. I don't care to admit it. I'm bad. I know I'm bad. I could get smoked on any fighting game. I don't give a shit. I'll say it up front. There are very few that I enjoy, and it's just more so just either for nostalgia's sake or I just really enjoy the property.
I'm going to throw this out there. And it's not... I'm going to have to explain.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
FPS.
Okay.
As kind of a least favorite.
Okay. I can see that with you, though.
Because historically, I've really enjoyed FPS games.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is I struggle to enjoy them very much anymore if it's the sole aspect of the game.
That's fair.
Like a Call of Duty is... There's a reason why I get excited about a Call of Duty every 6 years and not every year. Or it's the reason why I can... Like, when Apex came out, I jumped in and I played nothing but Apex for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Because it's like... It almost needs to... Like, FPS games these days, I'm not going to get excited about an FPS game if it's just a shooter. Unless it is bringing something new and innovative alongside with it. But a standard FPS game, I will not get excited for. If it's going to be like an FPS, like RPG type game, the fact that it's FPS is secondary to the fact that it's the RPG.
Yeah.
Or like an exploration game, that's going to be the more exciting aspect of it to me. But yeah, the fact of it, if it's like it's going to be a shooter. I'm like, okay.
All right.
What
So
else is there?
your caveat's the same one with me with puzzles, because like I would not go play a game like Myst, like the Myst series games. I would not go do that. Or what was the big one for like a couple years back, which was like the Island or whatever. I can't remember it, but I know there was a big one like a couple years back that everyone was all about.
Yeah, but yeah, kind of the same thing. I like FPS games in general. I'll never get excited for anymore. You gotta have something to spice it, or it's gotta it can't be the core focus of the game necessarily.
That's fair. That's fair.
That's why Finals got you. It wasn't just an FPS; it was a shit show.
Yeah, it was.
That's fair.
It was like it was a shooter, but everything around the fact that it was a shooter made it fun.
Yeah.
Just how chaotic it is. So
Yeah.
that's fair.
It's part of why like Overwatch and that I struggled to ever get into it because at its core it's
Just a shooter
Yep.
with tactics.
Yep.
Slightly part of the tactics.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You guys got anything else you guys want to shout out?
I'm good.
Shout out to horror games. I enjoy horror games. So
I'm trying.
hey,
I've I've dipped my toes in
respect.
a little bit.
Respect that. This will be a video, so you tell me your favorite genre. I want to know in the comments.